Hey everybody, it's James here at Texas Filipino. I'm back out on the farm again today after a very happy New Year's with some great friends. I hope everybody else out there had a wonderful time with your friends as well. I want to keep our time with that private, so we were with other Phil-Am couples, and not only Phil-Am couples, other couples as well, and some kids, and we had a super good time. So yeah, I brought these artillery shells. I bought some of the biggest ones that was allowed by law, and I want everybody to have a great time. So there was some like middle-aged kids, teenager there, and I was thinking, you know what, instead of us or adults getting out there do it, let's let the kids have fun with that. So of course they had supervision with us, and I stayed there with them, but man, they shot all these off. I bought all kinds of small trinket fireworks too. It was a really good time. We had a big open pit fire outside, a plethora of food. Any of you that are married to a Filipino know, if you say you need to feed 5 people, they're going to feed enough for 50. I'm not joking. It means everybody gets some share when it's time to go home, so you have a mix of everybody else's foods to bring home with you. And I do like that fun sharing atmosphere, but I'm gonna tell you, if you go to one of their events, there will never ever be a lack of food. I'm telling you. So what I want to cover with you right now is some of you have made a comment before about seeing some of this on the ground, and I do have to clean that up, but that's not for me not putting bales out, not cutting it off. I had 2-year-old hay that I put out, and some was even 3-year-old hay that I had put out, and that stuff had wadded into the bottom of those bales, had infused into that netting was infused into the hay, and it was a nightmare to get it off, to try to drag it out, and a mess. So on those bales, I had to just feed them, set them on the ground, let the cards fall as they may. The cows didn't want to eat that part down in there. It was all mucky anyway, and I only feed in one little zone right here on this hillside, so that way this string is contained. I can come through with my little disc. It's not a disc, I take that back. I can come through with my little ripper, and that way it doesn't have any like bearings to wad up on or nothing, and kind of rip this hill, this spring, remove all the string, pile it up, and burn it. So that's the deal with that. Now, I chose to not go in with net wrap for now anymore. I tell you what, I'm kind of happy with my decision. The net wrap, yeah, it looks pretty, and it does make a very beautiful bell, and it does somewhat protect a little bit more of this outside surface right here. Now, I don't know if it's really true that it's just so much better, or if the manufacturers just wanted to sell you a new gig, you know, like smartphones and all. Ah, you know, all these new model, new model, new model. Of course, if they don't keep new models coming out, and try to keep a hype going, well, they're going to go out of business. So let's just say that we got to have something new here. I'm not a fan of it. I'm just not that big of a fan of it, you know. I've been around it for years, and I like this simple cutting the string. Don't be too greedy with your wraps on your string. If you wrap this tight, look what a nice surface it has here on it. Nice rainproof surface. And don't spread them out. I'll see people where they'll skip all the way from here to here with a wrap. Well, of course, that bell is going to fall apart. The string's not that expensive. I tell you, it's easier to pull off the bell. To me, it is. Look here. I have a good bell inside. Very good bell inside. Look at them already eating it up right here just since I stopped. Man, super good hay. Look at it. It's got all that good clover in it. You see that? Man, this is probably as sweet to them as alfalfa. Look at that, man. Look at that. There's no problem with it at all. And here's another thing I like about using the twine, the string, over dealing with the net wrap. When I cut it off of a bell, I can pull it out. It'll slide right out of that muck, even off the bottom of the bell. And I can just roll it up in these little rolls and throw it here in the tractor floor when I get home, pitch it out. I don't have a big old wadded net with grass all infused in it, and trying to clean that mess out of there. That's my opinion, and I mean, take it or leave it. But still, I'm enjoying still using the twine, and it's still doing me a good job. Let's watch this old cow. She said, "Get your greedy big nose out of my way and let me get some too." It's funny, they want to start right in that sweet core in the beginning. These others are saying, "Can you just put that bell down and get out of the way?" Can you just get out of the way? All right, well, these cows want me to get my business done so they can get on here and chow down on this bell. Everybody gets some salad out of the bowl. So I'm gonna get busy cutting off the string here. All right, folks, there it is. See, that's all I have left. Removing that twine, pitch it there on the floor, clean it out later. I come back here to the back field. Want to turn the cows in on a patch back here that I've held them off this whole time we've been here. Trying to let some green grass grow in. And I noticed a couple things here. One thing, something's been in here grazing the tops out, and it's not been the cows. So that is probably, most likely, deer. And I don't see any goose poop. Sometimes it might be geese, but in this case it wasn't geese. So there's no cow manure, so I know it's not the cows, but it's grazed into here. A pretty good area here. I would almost bet that these tender shoots are going to be deer. Yep, sure enough, it's deer. I see their little trail left behind right here. Let me show you. If you get down here, you see these tops have been all bit out. See that? All the tops have been bit off. You can tell right there, bit off, bit off. So I was looking for the culprit, and yep, as I figured, right there is signs of the culprit. Those deer are coming back here grazing, and that's a good sign. I'm happy to see that. So the grass is beginning to come in back here on this. It's not going as good as it normally does this time of year, but at least it is starting to come on in. And I'll have to rotate these cows. I'll have my cousin to rotate them between the fields. It's not real thick, but it is starting to get there. I may try to squeeze in ripping a few of these fields open. We just had a light rain a few days ago, and it moistened some things up. And I think it would be a perfect time if I put a few extra hours in before I leave and do a little bit of ripping here. Now, there's something else I want to cover about being out here on a farm, and accidents that could happen if you're not here to watch it yourself all the time. So I was opening this gate up right here to this back field, let these cows in. Now I'm going to tell you, some people will just swing that gate open only, right? And that's that. They don't tie it back or anything. But we've learned a lesson in that, and we've learned to tie those gates all the way back. So when you build your fence, it's better if you make your gates where they'll swing all the way back like this right here. Yeah, we've learned that works really great. Make them swing all the way back against the fence. See, a couple of different things happen. One thing, if it's out here in feed, a calf might get excited and run in behind the gate when you're trying to work cows, get jammed in there. then you can't get the rest of the cows to come through. It disrupts your movement of the cattle. Next thing is maybe that calf gets a little crazy and tries to get all through that wire and injures himself. The cow could do it too, but usually it's a calf. The next thing is the cows will get around behind it and now push the gate closed. And it may not even be latched, but if you don't have really wild, crazy cows, they see the gate closed, they just stand there. Well, maybe half your herd's on one side of the fence now, half your herd's on the other side of the fence. And that's where it's very important to watch out for your water sources too. So at that point, a mama might be separated from her calf and she don't know what to do. The gate looks like a bigger deterrent than the wire. And you might end up with a cow going through a fence, and now you got a fence tore up, now you got problems. So a couple things we did was this. So the two things we do here, I'll show you. Down here is an old railroad spike. See that? You could use other things too. You could even use a gate hinge, something to lift it up and set it over there. Let me show you. See that? My little nose is kind of running my sinuses out here, wind blowing. See that right there? Yep, that works. The next thing, we have this chain right here. This chain's made long so that we can go all the way around this post. Don't try to pull real super tight. Leave a little slack in case something shifts. You can get your chain back loose. You get that chain hook, and now there you go. So now there you go right there. It's secured two ways. Keeps your gate from sagging there also and shifting your post, because it's resting. The weight of the gate is resting on that pin. So there's a little tip for you can do when you're building your fence project. Folks, y'all see that flag flying right there? I just want to ask one last thing for New Year's. Y'all pray for my uncle right there. I don't want to show him on camera. I don't want to say his name. I want to give him his privacy and his dignity. He's flying that flag. He's an American veteran. He's a Vietnam veteran. He suffered with Agent Orange. He's battled with it his whole life. And now he's come down over the past few years with severe cancer. He fought it. He won for a while. He got an extension of time, and it was bad too. And we were rejoicing. We thought that he had this, and it came back, and it's come back with a vengeance. And this time he don't want to fight, and bless his heart, he don't want to. It's hard. Y'all pray for my uncle. Y'all pray for my uncle right there. He's very dear to my heart. I love him. Y'all pray for him. Thank you.